Hey y'all, and welcome to our channel. Today has been crazy, y'all. I don't know if you can see the bed behind me. We had some bathroom flooding. I had carpet cleaners in and out of the house, but I really wanted to get this video up for you guys today. So this weekend on the trip that we went to, I think I mentioned a little bit in the last video when we were packing, but Ryan and Tank know each other through an online forum called Nerd Fitness. And shout out to all of our Nerd Fitness friends who are watching right now. What Nerd Fitness is, it is a online forum where people from all over the world come together and support each other with fitness goals, health goals, general life goals. It's breaking up into different groups, different guilds, and people generally motivate each other by putting on challenges and then supporting each other in those challenges. And the challenges usually have some kind of nerd theme, thus Nerd Fitness. And everybody is like book nerds, science nerds, anime nerds, all kinds of different nerds. It is a lot of fun, and this group of people has been detrimental to me and Ryan's growth in the past few years. I know Ryan has been a part of the boards for at least 5 years. I've been off and on within the last like 6 to 8 months, but with everything that me and Ryan have gone through, they have always been there to support us, encourage us, keep us moving forward in our goals and the things that we want to accomplish as a family. And I'm so excited to put this video together for you guys today. And Tank, who is our guild leader, we are a part of the Ranger Guild. He goes by Tanktimus the Encourager, which fits him perfectly. The guy is so encouraging and so uplifting. I can't say enough good things about him, honestly. This weekend was amazing. But he indulged me when I asked him if I could record him doing some cooking for us this weekend. And when I say indulge, like, this guy put on a show. I am so excited to put this video together for y'all. I'm actually editing it right now, trying to get it up as quick as I can because everyone needs to see this. He did an amazing job, and the food that he made was delicious. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
This Tank. Hi, well, special shout out to all our friends at the Nerd Fitness Rebellion.
There you go.
The chicken mole I've talked about. It starts with this Moly Sauce. You can get it in the ethnic section. If you see there, it's kind of grainy. And I've already gotten some because I've showed it. There's a little bit of oil on the top. Eventually, we're going to put that in a pan, and we're going to dilute it with this, which is beef stock from a beef roast I had made, which is just about the right amount of liquid we need for the sauce.
Does it have to be beef stock, or can you use like chicken or veggie?
You could use water.
Oh, okay.
But any kind of stock will do. Usually they want you to use some sort of stock just because it's got more flavor.
Right. So
over here, I got some butter melting. We're going to cook rice. This is jasmine rice.
My favorite.
Thai home Mali rice. Authentic aromatic rice from Thailand.
Guys, he was made to do this.
So,
Tank, you need a cooking show.
This is it. Tablespoon of melted butter.
Nice.
Somebody put 3.5 minutes on the kitchen
Melissa?
timer.
Bam. It's always nice to have a sous chef, isn't it?
Yes.
Start the
So we
timer.
just stir fry this bad boy for about 3 minutes. Get all that good oil in there. And the directions on the package give you instructions for 1 cup of uncooked rice or 2 cups of uncooked rice. Well, I'm using 1.5 cups, so I'm having to eyeball. And I admit I pulled out my calculator on my phone to do the ratios. Because I know how to do the operations, it's just the mental math.
Eyeballing isn't so bad with cooking. Now, if you were baking, it'd be a little different.
Cooking is art, baking is science.
Exactly. I say that all the time.
You really do say that all the time.
Thank
Well, we both got it from somewhere else.
Right, exactly. I just know I can't eyeball things when it comes to baking, or my scones will end up flat or something.
Yeah, usually with broth, this is good low sodium broth. For all of those of you not from San Antonio, really good grocery store.
Yes, HEB.
Hey babe, your butt looks really good.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm sitting here staring.
Okay, let's not make this a different kind of show.
You see that brown rice? That's white rice that's cooked to brown. So then we're going to add the appropriate amount. I'm going to add some salt. You can
20 or 30 minutes when you guys would be...
however much salt you added, it's not enough.
Right. You like a little more salt?
Good sea salt. Now, One thing I will tell you is using a salt other than just table salt, like this is good sea salt, you get a lot more flavor for the same amount of salt.
Okay.
We're going to let this come to a boil. We're going to put a lid on it. We're going to turn it to low for about 25 minutes.
Yep.
We're going to cook. This is Calabasa squash. It's
You didn't say it with the flair.
Calabasa.
Thank you.
In Spanish, Calabasa is the generic term for all gourds.
Okay.
It even includes pumpkins. But this is a specific kind of squash. You see it's got this mottled, really cool looking mottled appearance.
Mm-hmm.
It's tends to be used a lot in Mexican dishes. So we're going to cut these up.
Very pretty.
Now,
When I saw them in the cart, I thought they were like a zucchini.
they are. They're closely related to the
Okay.
zucchini. So this is important. When you're chopping, make sure your knife is very sharp.
Mm-hmm.
You put the tip down and you slide forward.
That's just how I do it.
And so we're going to cut this in
I
half.
do cut that way. Don't call me a liar.
And then we're going to cut it again like this. And then watch how easily this goes. You just...
Pro.
Heather needs a little bit more practice like that.
I know to cut that way. It just doesn't look that good.
So
I'd be afraid to
it's
cook
important to have extra bowls. We're going to eat from these later, so we're not creating extra dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to run out of room on your cutting board, so you have a bowl to put this stuff in.
Those look good.
Onions can be difficult, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut the ends off. We're going to take this peel. Get that peeled. Now there's a lot of different methods for cooking onions that are really good and make you look really fancy. I'm not going to do that on camera. Although, you see, this one is a little old. It's not the end of the world.
Cut that piece off.
A sharp knife will cover a multitude of sins.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to cut it in half.
This too, also, Melissa.
I got a little fancy there, but you just recover, act like you meant to do it. If I hadn't drawn attention to it, you might not have noticed.
True that. Or you
See-
could take my cheat way, and I have like a little dicer that I buy.
Cut like this, and then the natural divisions in the onion will mince it the other direction.
Yep.
All right, now the rice is boiling, so I'm going to put the lid on, turn it all the way to low, and 25 minutes.
25 minutes on timer. Melissa.
Now, for those of you at home, follow the directions on your rice package. Rice is not difficult.
No.
All you need is a little salt and pepper. Now, another thing you can do goes really good is vinegar. So look, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kinds of vinegar here. If your dish is missing something and you've already put salt, put an acid of some kind, either lemon juice or a citrus or a vinegar. The flavored vinegars really kick up your dish. You see the chicken here. We're going to use avocado oil. The reason I like this is pure 500-degree smoke point. It won't get as smoky in your kitchen with this stuff as with, say, olive oil. Now, olive oil has a lot of flavor. I tend to use it more for dips and dressings that you don't have to cook with.
Well, that's the same brand
Now,
we got, babe.
you see my scientific measuring method here. That's several glugs. All right, now this is 3 pounds of chicken. Now for our dish, it's going to be small bite size. That takes a lot of time. I'm going to show you all a secret.
Yes. We
Scissors.
believe in kitchen shears.
Now, as with most cooking shows, we're going to edit away, and you're going to see this all cooking in here.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to watch me doing this. Once I've showed you the trick, the new has worn off.
Right. Basically, it's gonna go from that to
this.
this.
And see, all I have dirtied are the shears. My cutting board, I can still cut other things on. I don't have to wash all the chicken bacteria off. So that's a quick trick. If you've got kitchen shears, so much easier.
That's a great tip. Thank you, Tank. And here I like to call myself a cook. And that rice is looking good too.
Now, we need to season the chicken. There's a lot of flavor in the Moly sauce, but we still need your basic. Salt, pepper, and maybe vinegar. Probably pretty basic. You can put them on just about everything.
I like that you add an acid. That's a good point.
Yeah. All right, that's a good amount of sea salt, fresh ground pepper.
I didn't think your spot, did I? Here, I'll switch it. That's the only thing here above that with it.
We'll go with the white wine vinegar.
Okay. I'm partial to red, but
All right.
it's only because that's what we have.
And then you just
Oh no, we need rice.
you just stir, and we're gonna let this cook all the way.
Okay, you're gonna cook it through in the pot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Almost forgot the garlic. Not a lot.
Is it garlic powder?
This is garlic powder.
Okay.
Don't get garlic salt because it's mostly salt. You
Yep.
can add salt yourself. It's a lot cheaper to buy just garlic powder. And you don't need a lot. The chicken's almost done, but it's not browning, and I want to show you why. All that liquid. Wet stuff doesn't really brown. It's got to be dry, which is okay for this recipe. That's a combination of the chicken liquid cooking off and some of the oil, some of the vinegar. But that's some good chicken stock there. Now, if we didn't have enough liquid here, I would add it in there. But we do, so we're just going to set it aside. It's not going to be, it looks like a lot in there. It's not enough to really make it worth saving.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it in a jar that I'll throw away later. You don't want to put this down the drain because the fat will congeal in the drains and stop them up. And the people who run water services all the time say, don't put grease down the drain. That's why.
Gotcha.
This is the liquid that's still in there. We're going to take that out because the veggie, for the same reason the chicken didn't brown, the veggies won't cook the way I want them to. It is a little more important that they brown. And then the squash, there's so much water in it, it's going to have liquid that I'm going to take off. And in the past, when I haven't had enough broth, I've used chicken, I've dumped it right in there, and the liquid that cooked off the vegetables right in there. But this, don't get rid of your pickle jars. You can pour grease from stuff into this when it's full. You just throw it away. Okay, now look, here's another trick. I set that in the sink, so that way I'm not so scared of stuff spilling.
You're good.
Okay. Now look, this is a little haphazard, but it's okay because it's already in the sink. We'll edit that sound out. Okay, keep rolling, keep rolling. And then it's about this much. I don't know if you can see, but there's little bubbles in there. That's the fat not dissolving into the water. It's going to congeal about that much. Now you think, oh, that's not a big deal. But in the pipes, if everybody did that, none of our drains would work. This stuff floating on top is beef fat. When I made the roast, I just poured all the liquid in there. This stuff will congeal. Now, it's a little broken up, but this is the fat we're going to use to cook the veggies. I got a slotted spoon here, so I'm getting more fat than the broth. Now, if I didn't have this, you could just use oil, and it would be fine, but this is just another way to make all your flavors integrate. So this is it. We're stirring it to coat the fat on it. And then I'm going to add a little salt. Now, if your salt doesn't flow, hitting it on the bottom like this will get it to come out a little better.
It'll also help a baby burp.
Yes. A little pepper.
Mom tip.
Little dab. And this is going to need a little acid too, so we're just going to do a little bit of white wine vinegar.
Finish off your bottle.
Not a whole lot in there. That's like half a glug.
Half a glug.
But that's okay.
That's an official cooking term now.
And I have another bottle ready to go. I just don't want to prep it on camera.
No.
Okay. Another thing you can do is if you're cooking veggies and you feel like it's taking too long, put the lid on it. The steam will stay in there and it'll help it cook a little faster. I'll show you another tip. See, this is the cooked chicken. We're going to eat out of this bowl later. This is a great way to save yourself time when you are doing dishes afterward. Now, if you've got people you want to impress that you don't know that well, you may choose not to do that because you want it to look fancy. But we all know each other real well, and this is going to save dishes.
I don't need to be impressed.
So when the veggies are done, I'm going to have a veggie in here too, and then I'm going to use this to prep the mole sauce, and we'll talk more about that later. But that way I've got 2 cooking vessels I'm going to have to wash later. And the rice is going to be super easy. It's just a real quick rinse, soap and water, dry it out. Rice is very easy. Now, if you like using a rice cooker, you stick with the rice cooker, but you don't have to have one to make really good rice. You saw how few steps that was. You can do this. I am the encourager. Another thing you need to do periodically while you're cooking is taste. See, I'm going to take a piece of chicken, and this is totally not because I'm hungry and I just want one. Mm-hmm. This is for my guests, so I can make sure the chicken is seasoned properly before we put it in the mole.
I think you need a second opinion.
I think he does.
That's good.
Yes,
Good chicken. Good chicken.
Hold on. The guest isn't convinced.
Again, this is totally not because we just want a snack.
For science?
For science!
This is why I married this man.
Now, we didn't tell you what kind of chicken this was. These are boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Now, I have a foolproof, never-fail recipe for making chicken breasts perfectly. Whenever a recipe calls for chicken breast, use thighs instead.
Exactly.
Now the veggies are ready, but one thing to notice, you see how my pieces aren't quite uniform? That's totally fine, but when you're checking doneness, check of one of the bigger pieces, because that's going to be done after all the others. Because you can take a small one and it'll be fine, and the bigger ones are half raw, and your guests are like, trying to eat it, and it's not good. The veggies.
Yummy.
Okay, so this is our pot again. Now I want y'all to see this. Come in close. See that oil comes off, but you really got to dig this stuff out. It's totally worth all the effort. And sometimes, yeah, so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go around the side here and kind of carve it out.
Ooh.
The steps for making mole sauce are really intensive. You can Google mole from scratch, but it is a lot of work. This is so much easier. And this, now here's another tip. It doesn't say how many tablespoons, but serving size, 2 tablespoons. Servings per container, 7. 2 times 7, 14 tablespoons. Then it says 1 part of this to 3 parts. So 14 times 3 is 42. Then you go to Google and you ask it how many cups is 42 tablespoons, and that's how you know how much liquid.
Very nice.
You want to use one of these rubber spatulas. Now, a lot of people call, hang on. A lot of people call this a spatula. This is an egg turner. A spatula is one of these. But, you know, I'm not the food police. You call it what you want. Okay, now this is all that beef broth. And we're going to pour it in here.
And we said earlier you can use chicken stock or veggie stock or even water with this.
Yeah.
But obviously a stock is going to give it more of a flavor.
Now, another thing too on cooking levels, when I was heating up the rice for the butter, I had it on a 7. When I was cooking the meat and the veggies, I had it on 7. Come here and show it. About that much-ish on your grill. Or on your stove. I generally prefer a gas stove, but those are hard to find, so we have an electric. But the main difference between gas and electric is gas goes on instantly, and when you turn it off, it's off, and you don't have to move it to another burner. With electric stove, you modify a little. See, this is the stuff, and we're just going to let it cook until the mole breaks down, and we get this nice thick sauce. All right, so this is about ready. I want to show y'all something cool. I don't know if you can catch it on the video, but it's coming through the slats in the spoon. Now, the reason I'm using this is not going to serve it well, but I find that a lot of big serving spoons tend to be flimsy. And so we're going to serve it with this. But this tends to be not as good for breaking stuff up, for stirring this stuff when it's cooking. And so I'll use a wooden spoon to stir it and cook, and then I'll actually serve with one of these. Now, I know I made a big deal about not dirtying extra dishes, but I can rinse these off and throw them in the dishwasher. So, okay, it's just starting to bubble about like this. It's ready. Now, so when you come back, actually, no, you're not going to go away. The chicken's going in. And the veggies, which are still warm. Now at this point, we don't want to overcook anything, so we're going to turn our heat down to about 3, just so it stays warm. And then all we got to do is stir this bad boy up, which is again easier with this wooden spoon than that flimsy serving spoon. Just going to stir it in, get all that goodness mixed around everything. Now, if you don't like squash, you can do your own veggie mix. I strongly recommend onion because onion flavors so much stuff so well. Now, if you want to as well, you can mince fresh garlic, which I just chose not to do because I didn't feel like it. But it also really kicks up the dish.
We've had a long day.
Yeah.
No one blames
you. But someone once asked Gordon Ramsay in an email, what are 5 things every kitchen should have? And he said olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic, and shallots. Shallots are a tiny onion that have a lot of flavor. But if you don't want to do that fancy, at least have salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. They go in almost everything. One of the things that rice often tells you to do is fluff it. So you're going to watch that process. This has been off the heat, and you just stir it, and look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like it came out of a rice cooker.
Right?
So
it looks like it came out of a rice cooker.
Told you so.
Actually, you told her to tell you that it doesn't look like it.
She saw the wisdom in the She saw the wisdom in not doing it, for to do so would have been futile. And now we're going to serve this incredible, amazing, can't get enough of it. It's worth it if you're hurting at the end, but don't eat so much it hurts. But I won't judge you. And we're pairing this meal with beer, which is not, the label of which is not shown because they haven't given us any money. Alright, y'all saw how full this was. This is after serving 4 people.
Ah, nice.
Now, one thing to know about this, if you want to make it the day ahead, it gets better overnight in the fridge. The flavors meld even more. So if you want to make this the day ahead and reheat it, it's going to be even better. So then you just serve, put it in Tupperware. And Tupperware is your friend because if you're trying to lose weight, you can cook and then make extra and just take it to work the next day.
Ryan knows all about leftovers.
Leftover king!
Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Do you see our pouty 3-nager back there?
3-nager, and it's funny.
It's accurate.
It is.
So thanks for all the nerds who checked out the video. I hope you enjoyed the cook. I know you enjoyed it. I don't have to ask.
Yeah, it was so much fun being in the kitchen.
Right. I laughed through the entire video. He just cracking me up the whole time. It was so good. And then all those tips, right? Like I lost track at one point. I'm like, I think I might have missed a couple tips.
How many total?
I counted 19, I think. But I could have missed a couple.
I bet you there's a 20th one in there somewhere.
I bet there is somewhere. So if you find it, comment and let us know. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed that, please subscribe, comment, and let us know if you're going to try.
Smash that like button.
This is the new thing.
Smash it.
Comment and let us know if you're going to make this yourselves. We're going to make it. We're actually probably headed to go get some ingredients right now because it doesn't need much.
Are we going to do that this week?
We are. It's going to be yummy.
Mole, 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 mole.
All right, y'all. Enjoy your week. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.